like that? You like that?
What's going on? It's Coach Williams, and I'm back for another breakdown. So today we're going to be talking about Jack Jones out of Arizona State going to the New England Patriots. I definitely think it's a scheme fit. I've gotten some questions from Patriots fans asking me to break this guy down, so definitely going to do it. Now, if you know anything about the Patriots and you know how they scout players, they have a history. Bill Belichick has a history of loving guys that in high school, they were the number one recruit. They were 5-star recruits, ended up going to big programs, and then did not have that level of success in college. So if you know anything about the Patriots draft last year, obviously Mac Jones was their top guy, but Davis Mills was their backup option. And if you know anything about Davis Mills, he was a top recruit at quarterback coming out. He's a 5-star guy. I think he was one of the top 3 quarterbacks, high school quarterbacks that year. So they were really interested in him as their fallback plan. Well, it's very similar here with Jack Jones. Jack Jones was a 5-star recruit, ended up going to USC, some off-the-field issues. I don't talk about off-the-field issues on this channel. To me, that's clickbait stuff. I want to talk ball. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. We got Jack Jones up here at the top of the screen. And it's going to be very similar, Patriots fans, to the Alontae Taylor breakdown, where the beginning is not very good. It might have you a little worried. But over the course of the video, we're going to start to see what makes this player special. So we're kicking things off here. He's in press coverage here. He's lined up on this receiver. And this is the biggest issue with him. He is 170 pounds. All right, so he's a smaller dude. And I'm a little worried about him on the stock blocks because they're running this bubble screen right here, and he is getting driven back. Like, this is not a very good rep, okay? So he ends up getting dominated, and it turns into an explosive play. So this is 2019. You might recognize this dude right here is Justin Herbert. So we're getting to see him go up against some really good competition in this video. So I don't think we're really going to get to see that much from the tight view here. All we're seeing is him getting dominated at 170 pounds, 5'11", getting blocked into the sideline. Dude's going to flex in his face. Like, yeah, that's not great. So this next play, though, we're going to get to see a little glimpse, a little foreshadowing of what makes this dude a special football player. So he's in off-man coverage here, and I love how patient he is. Notice he does not take any steps. The slightest, smallest little 1-inch read step. And what that does is that forces the receiver to make a decision and be more decisive in his route. When you're backpedaling, you're weave stepping, you're doing all that stuff or whatever, that gives the receiver the ability to understand where he wants to break and different things like that. It gives him a tell for what leverage you're going to be using, what technique you're going to be using. This, he's just sitting here nice and patient, and then he gets hands-on. It's a really good rep right there, even though the ball doesn't come that way. So now we got him down here at the bottom of the screen, and the issues with the physicality are going to come up again. We get this tight end coming out here to block on this screen pass, and man, he just gets dominated on this play, man. Does a backflip, like gets pushed. Not very physical, all right? So again, we're going to see it on this run play here. This run is simple inside zone play, and again, he's getting driven back. I like that he's using his arms, though, getting that arm extended. But what ends up happening is he starts going inside on the play, and then he gets his back turned to the play. He thinks it's probably going to be a tackle, and he starts fighting with this guy. Ball squirts out. He sees it late. He does make the tackle, though. But I think part of the issue with that, too, is the physicality at that size. He wants to play a little bit more physical because he's worried, that if he doesn't bring it, the receivers are going to feel like they have to bully him. So then he ends up on the stock block longer than he needs to be. Like, he's really got to get that size issue worked out. So he's 170 pounds, 175 pounds. I think that he's going to need to bulk up to at minimum 185. to be able to be a true outside man corner. All right. So, like I just said, outside man corner. Everybody's talking about this guy playing in the slot. I think if he plays in the slot, he's really wasting his potential because he has a skill that is like a lost art. You do not ever hear. Think about it. Do you ever hear about anyone in the NFL being like, oh, that guy is a great off man corner? This dude is a phenomenal off man corner. Most people think about press man corners. They talk about zone corners. This dude's off man coverage. I think his press coverage is really good too, but his off man coverage is just phenomenal. And you don't ever hear that about players. You never hear somebody being a really good off man corner. Well, this guy, he can play some off man. Okay. So we can see it on this play right here. Nice and patient. This is the theme of the video. Okay. This guy does not have any fears about his speed, even though he ran 4.5. He has no fears about his speed. He is never getting out really fast in this off-man coverage. He's nice and patient. He sees the receiver stemming inside, and rather than back up, he's taking some nice steps across, staying nice and square, shuffling, realizing that this guy is going to go across the field, sprints across with him. And so Herbert is late here on this pass. And so he's going to drive on his football, and he doesn't end up making the interception. But to me, watching this on tape, evaluating the guy, seeing whether or not I want this dude on my team, man, I really like this rep right here because he is being aggressive. He's very confident, and he reads the play out. It's not like he's late or getting beat or something like that or feels desperate. He knew what was going to happen on that play. He stayed nice and patient, and then he drives on the football. If you're going to be a good corner in the league, you got to gamble every once in a while. So I don't want to see him come in here and just try to secure the tackle or go in and try to swipe with the hands and knock the ball down. He read the play out. He had the confidence to try to go for it. He doesn't get it, but ends up only being a minimal gain. Tackle is made right here. So I personally am not going to kill him on that play. That is what I want to see. So now we got him up here at the top of the screen. And so, again, we get this off coverage here. And so I really love the footwork. Look at the motor feet here. Breaks down, drives on the football. All right, look at the technique here. He doesn't have to drop his hips at all. He keeps his hips nice and low. He can keep his head at the same level, drive like a missile on the football, and almost picks that thing off. Like, he has phenomenal off-man technique, okay? So now we got him up here at the top of the screen. And so, again, part of the reason what makes him a really good off-man corner is he mixes up his looks. Now, this is a totally different technique. He's using catch technique right here. He's not moving an inch. There's no steps. There's no weaves. There's no read steps or anything. He, again, is going to make this receiver make a decision. And you would think, oh, that makes sense in the red zone. He's doing this in the field now. And so gets hands-on all over this guy. Zero separation. Like, he is so good at mixing up his looks and using different techniques. So now we got him in press coverage right here. And so, again, I really like this one because what do we always talk about on this channel? Eyes. He's got the eyes on the hip. Now we got the feet. Good feet here. Hands. Getting the hand on. Stays nice and low. Reads the tempo of the receiver. Excellent change of direction. Nice and low. Like a missile. Driving on the football. Picks it off. Phenomenal. Phenomenal coverage right there. So now we got him down here at the bottom of the screen. And so, again, totally different technique. Off-man coverage. Totally different technique. Weaving inside. Weave steps. Nice and low. Good low base. Motor feet. Drives out. Like, all the technique that you see from him in off-man coverage. It's just phenomenal. In any kind of man coverage, it's just phenomenal. So this play, I don't think they're in man here. Yeah, so this is the play where they're running 33 double cloud. So the way that it works is we've got a cover 3 here. So we've got 3 deep defenders, and then we've got our underneath defenders here. It's a drop 8 coverage, so we got 5 underneath, 3 deep. And so we talked about the play strength issues and how he needs to get a little bit bigger. I do like the physicality here. So we'll kick it off with the positives. So he's nice and physical, forces this guy out of bounds, right? Really physical with this dude. Sends him into the bleachers because he's had some issues with that in the game. But the problem is, in this coverage, when you're a cloud corner in 33 double cloud or cover 2 or any kind of coverage where you're a cloud corner, you never want to get your back turned to the number 2 receiver because your read is from 1 to 2. You want to reroute 1 and then get eyes on 2. Well, you can't have eyes on 2 if you're turned around. And you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, this other corner plays it way better. He gets his jam. He doesn't turn his back, so now he's got vision of the entire field. He can see this route right here, so now he can play it. That's much better job. So Jack Jones, I think part of it is a physicality, right? He wants to show like he's not no punk, right? So he wants to be physical with this dude. They were being physical with him earlier, but you got to stay mentally in the game, use your technique properly, and don't give up this first down like this. So now we got him up here, top of the screen, off coverage again. And so the play strength issues are going to come up again here. He's getting driven all the way back, thrown to the ground. Ugh, not good. He's really got to put some weight on, man. So this play right here, one of the few clips in Off Man that are not very good. So he is patient, as always. He's patient, but the problem is he opens his hips too early. Before you saw he was staying nice and square and let this guy declare. I know that this is Herbert, but at this point in Herbert's career, nobody was talking about this guy as like superstar quarterback here. So you got to trust your speed, trust yourself like he normally does. Don't open your hips. Let this guy declare the route to the outside and then just shuffle across and get hands on, especially in the red zone. But opens his hips, gets beat across his face, and then this is part of the reason why Herbert was not as highly touted coming out. Obviously, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he misses on the throw. All right, so that was an issue that ended up coming up a lot for him, and we've seen it on the film in this game. So now we got Jack Jones here. This is fast forward to 2021. So this is the new and improved Jack Jones. This film is a lot cleaner, even though that film was pretty good too. So now we got him in the slot here, and he's on this number 2 receiver. And what do we see right off the bat? What we saw in the last video, few clips too, that click and close ability. Look at the patience, the small, choppy 1-inch read steps, drives on the football. Ball does not end up being caught, but if it was, that was going to be a big hit right there. So now we got him at the bottom of the screen here. Again, off-man coverage. And again, look at this. Look at the feet. Nice and patient. Nice and low base. Drives through this receiver. The ball ended up being thrown here. That would be a pick 6 for sure. Really good coverage from Jones here. So now we got him at the bottom of the screen. And again, what do we always talk about? Can you go across the field with the receivers? He can. And why can he? Because he's nice, patient. Doesn't panic and think, oh, I need to backpedal and get out. Stays in good position. Gets on top of the receiver. No separation. He's all over it. So next play here. He's in off coverage again. Nice, choppy, small 6-inch steps. Now this is going to be a nice, easy gimme play for them because they're running this little speed out against off-man coverage. That's really hard to cover. But either way, we can see his technique here. Using that bicycle technique. Quick feet, doesn't step in the bucket, drives the football. Minimal gain. So now on this play, he's going to be blitzing off the edge. What do we always talk about with the blitzes off the edge? What's the aiming point? We're aiming for that mesh point. It's a really good job. Ball ends up being given. He flattens out, goes straight down the line of scrimmage, gets a hand on the football, creates a turnover. Big play. We'll be able to see it from the tight. Right? So he's getting upfield, aiming for that mesh point, redirects, gets straight down the line of scrimmage, knocks the ball out. turnover. His guys get it. That's a really good job there. So now we got him at the top of the screen here. And so different technique, off-man coverage, pedaling, weave stepping, keeping that inside leverage all over this guy. Runs the post, but he ends up doing the speed turn. This is technique right here, right? So we don't want to, when we get in this position and we're wrong, we don't want to open back up to the inside because we're going to lose all of our momentum. He speed turns, and when you notice when he speed turns, he doesn't miss a beat. He's all over that route. He's got post help from the safety here. That's a really good job. Very technically sound play right there. So now we got him at the top of the screen. And again, off-man coverage. This rep, he's getting a little too far out. Looks like he might be using scooch technique here because he's dragging the foot. See how he drags that foot right there? But he gets a little bit too over his skis, a little too far. You want to protect the sticks, right? You can see the first down is right here. But either way, ball doesn't come that way. Click and close. Decent rep. Decent. Not great, but decent. So now they come out in this wildcat set here. So this, I really like this play because he understands what's going on. They've probably gone over these checks over the course of the week. Anyone that's been on any kind of defense where you know you're going up against a team that's going to run wildcat, you know your checks for that. You know what's going on. You know that this guy is probably going to motion across. So he doesn't even pedal. You can tell just right off rip, he sees this motion coming this way. So he knows the ball is coming this way. He even backs up to give himself a running head start. Gets downhill, but then the play strength and size issues come up. He doesn't make the tackle, but either way, he slows the runner down, and his teammates rally. The pursuit gets there. So now we'll be able to see it from the tight again, right? He sees the motion. We can see his eyes. Look at his eyes, looking at the slot receiver. He knows he's coming, backs up, gets a full head of steam. Just would like to see him finish on the tackle. So now we got him up here, top of the screen. Press coverage. This is actually covered too. This is zone coverage here. So, but either way, we can still use our press technique in cover two. So, does a good job of using his eyes and his feet first before hands. Then he gets the hands on. And unlike with the other play when it was 33 double cloud, what is he doing? He's keeping his eyes inside, not getting himself turned. So now he can see the out route here. Ball doesn't get thrown that way, but if it was, he would be in position to make a play. So we're seeing improvement year over year. That's what we want to see for sure. So now we got him up here, top of the screen, off coverage, totally different technique here, right? So nice, short, choppy, 6-inch steps on the pedal, nice and low, quick feet, drives out of this thing, doesn't have to drop his hips, makes a play on the ball, ends up being caught, I believe, but either way, there's a really good technique here, drives on the football, no gain, very minimal gain, no extra yards after catch gained. So, Jack Jones, really like this guy. I really think that he is going to be an outside corner or has all the skills to be an outside corner, just needs to work on his body, right? If he wants to be great, and he wants to be a really good corner in this league, he's going to work on his body, put on about 10 pounds. And this dude got a lot of similarities and a lot of traits to J.C. Jackson. And I think that's why they went after him in the draft. So I think he could be a really good outside corner. Just needs to work on the size thing. But from a technique standpoint, all that other stuff, there's nothing he needs to work on. He looks really, really good at clicking and closing, mixing up his looks and off-man coverage. Some of the best off-man coverage tape I've ever watched before. I have a total understanding of why Bill Belichick saw this dude and said, I don't care what round I'm going to take him. I want this guy on my team. So that's it for this video, and I think that this is it for the Scheme Fit videos. 10th Scheme Fit video. If people want to make some suggestions, if I like the player, then yeah, maybe I'll do another one. If I don't like the player, I am not going to do one, just like how I said with Jaquan Brisker. Stop asking. I'm not going to do a video on him. But If you got some suggestions, I might do those. But for now, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. So as always, you know what it is. It's Coach Williams, Ball Hawks, we fly. I'm out. Peace.
I've made amends, called all my friends and said I made you better, that we changed more than the weather, but all good things end, and I'll play pretend and say you're mine forever, when we both know we would never win. I've made